Welcome to Money Talks. This is Dave Workman, and this podcast is brought to you by Workman Associates. Visit workmanassociates.com for information about the investment services, insurance, and financial planning we offer. Today's guest is Becky Smith, Columbia 6th grade Academy teacher, who I have some questions about her experience in having life insurance because of her late husband's passing. First of all, Becky, thank you for agreeing to talk, as I'm sure this is kind of a difficult subject to discuss, but a very important one that I very much appreciate you bringing your insight to our listeners. First of all, if you could you discuss kind of your situation as how far as life insurance provided for you and your family at the passing of your husband?
Sure. My husband, Ron, and I were both working parents. We had 2 children at home and one who was already married and out of the home. And unexpectedly, Ron was diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer, just really kind of out of the blue. He was a non-smoker, lifetime non-smoker, very healthy guy, very fit and active, helped with our children's activities, so he was always on the go. And, you know, we just live a healthy lifestyle, so we were kind of both taken aback when he was diagnosed with cancer in, it was the winter of 2014, and he was just 45 years old.
Well, as I said, I know it's a really hard topic, but upon Ron's eventual passing, you know, and it's interesting because we just got talked about your son heading off to Purdue.
Yes.
And how well he's doing. But were there some specific debts or goals used for the proceeds?
Yes. The boys that were still at home and I, after Ron's passing, were still able to stay in our home. We were able to pretty much continue our same lifestyle, which was kind of important because with, you know, Ron's unexpected passing and both the boys being young, one in high school and one in elementary, it was important to me that we try to maintain kind of the normalcy that we had before. And so without having that life insurance, we probably wouldn't have been able to stay in our home.
You know, that's a really excellent point because nobody thinks that. I hadn't even thought of that, and I've been involved with a long time, where here's a teacher with experience and still would not maybe have been able to keep that. And I'm sure with the passing of your husband and the boy's father, the ability to maintain at least some kind of normalcy was really important. Do you remember how you decided on the amount of life insurance when you and Ron purchased that?
Well, either of us had very much experience purchasing life insurance. We tossed around the idea for a long time, but it wasn't until we came in and, you know, got some information from some statistics, some information about cost and what that would look like for us financially. That's how we kind of decided on what we were comfortable with.
Well, you know, and it's hard because, I mean, you and I were sitting here chatting and nobody thinks about it. You know,
not ever.
My brother was 42 and he passed away as a missionary, you know. And so you took this step, and I asked Becky to do this because I'm hoping that if we have one listener that decides to do this, then it's worth it. And it's, you can hear in her voice what a strain it is. Why did you agree to do this? Because it can't be easy. In fact, it's got to be hard.
Well, like you said, nobody thinks it's going to happen to them. So if hearing my story makes one family kind of reconsider, you know, what you're spending those few extra dollars on a month, and maybe kind of considering the importance of that security just in case you are that one person out of hundreds that this happens to.
Well, you know, the question that I have to follow this up is that what would you tell individuals that they don't believe they need insurance is that you just have to believe it, you know. Life's not fair.
Life is sure not fair.
But I've got to give you credit because, as you said, you've got now the one young man who was in high school. That's the one that graduated
Yes.
and going to Purdue. And your other son is now how old?
He's in 7th grade. He will turn 13 in December.
Okay.
So the other part of that is because I had this and was able to stay in our home and maintain our lifestyle, I'm still able to contribute to their college funds and those other things. And those things aren't as much of a strain as maybe they would have been. And I'm not even sure I'd be able to continue those if I didn't have this security.
Well, that's a great point because just because of how important an education is, and obviously your son worked very hard to be able to get into Purdue because it's hard to get into Purdue.
Yes, it is.
To take it from someone whose child went there. So, is there anything I haven't asked you that you think's important or you would like to say at this point?
I'm very thankful that we did this. And honestly, when he was first diagnosed and was sick, this stuff didn't even cross my mind. We didn't think about money. At that time, he's fighting for his life. We have lots of other things to think about besides our finances. And so then, once everything had happened, that recovery period begins, and then you realize, oh, this is one thing I don't have to worry about. This is something that we did that now is going to be very, very beneficial.
Well, I just want to thank you very, very much because, as I said, I knew it was hard. I know you took some time to think about it. You can hear it in your voice, but I appreciate it. But the fact of the matter is, I hope you listen and take some action if you don't have it. And so, this is Dave Workman with Becky Smith from Columbia 6th Grade Academy, and this broadcast has been brought to you by Workman Associates. Visit workmanassociates.com for information about the investment services, insurance, and financial planning we offer.